to talk to him about cheating.
I know. Me neither. You know what? I'm reading like he's the expert in infidelity.
All right.
I'm like, wow, that's really something to have an expertise in.
It's done. I'm good.
But I don't think he's on our line. I think we're missing him. I don't hear him. No.
Can I just
no
change
Daniel.
that through the settings so it doesn't go down?
No. And I think now we lost Adrian to top it all up. So, first we're going to talk to Benji.
Right.
What are you up to these days,
right,
Benji? I know you do tons of accents, and I'm going to have you do your Ed Sullivan, because I just love that. You made me laugh.
Right here now, and Topo Gigio, here are the Beatles. Say hi, Beatles. And thank you very much.
It's Paul McCartney here, you know. I play bass guitar. Hey, this is George Harrison. Hey there. Listen, I'm going to start playing my drums,
Well, we just had the Beatles here. It's been a long time since I heard Ed Sullivan's voice. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of my grandparents. I remember sitting there with my grandparents, and Ed Sullivan was the big show back then. They'd watch it on their black and white TV, right? I was a little kid.
You have to also remember that Ed Sullivan is the only human being born without a neck. So he walks around kind of like one shoulder high up.
Here now.
Well, I remember. Adrian, you back with me?
Yeah, no, I'm on. I'm actually trying to make sure Daniel's on. Did he appear?
Daniel, did you appear? No, not yet. He must be doing investigations. He's undercover. We can't find him.
He's catching a cheater.
Right? He's catching a cheater. Oh, I think he's on. Daniel?
Yes, this is Daniel.
Daniel, we found you. We were saying you must be undercover.
Also, I entered the wrong enter ID number. I apologize for that, but I'm here.
That's okay. I introduced you, but I'm going to do it again. This is
okay.
Because I want people to know who you are. It's Daniel Gomez, star of Cheaters, a reality show. But more importantly, you are the expert, it says, in infidelity.
That's correct.
Now, that's really something. How did you get this expertise?
Well, from what I've heard, this is what I've been told in the past, that after 10 years of doing this type of thing, you become an expert. Now, I'm doing it close to 17 years now, and I've seen, I think, just about everything that can be thrown at you as a private detective, whether it's on television or doing cases privately. I think I've seen it all.
Well, I'm going to ask you.
That show is wild, right? Have you seen the show, Steph?
Well, I started watching clips of it. What a great show. I love it. But you know what? I got to ask this, and I don't mean any disrespect towards the show, but is it scripted or is that real?
It's as real as can be.
Because it looks scripted because it's so action-packed and crazy that it's hard for me to realize or to, just take notice of it being real and not scripted.
Yeah, I wish I could just share with you some of the stories of my private cases that don't even make it to TV.
Really?
Those are crazier.
Really?
Yeah.
Crazier
Well,
than...
yeah, that's what I want to hear. What is one of the craziest cases that you've covered? Because people cheat all the time. It makes me crazy.
Me too.
What is it? How do you find out? Like, what is one of the, the craziest cases you've had?
One of the craziest private cases I had that wasn't on television was a case, and this one still bothers me, where this lady had challenged her husband. She told him, catch me if you can, if you think I'm cheating. So he hires me. I catch her cheating.
Wait, the man hired you? Wait, Daniel, the man hired you?
The man hired me, yes.
Okay. Because I don't know, it just seems to me like, I don't know, maybe I'm like thinking the stereotypical situation is where the woman would hire you and the man is cheating.
Yeah. Times have changed.
I think
Sorry,
more women cheat.
You think more women cheat?
I think more women cheat these days.
You do?
Oh, yeah. They're catching up.
No way.
Yeah, I don't agree.
If you talk to psychiatrists about this, they will say that more women are cheating. They're sneakier. They don't get caught. That's I'm telling you, that's what I hear.
This is from a man who has
like
600 models employed by him.
Right.
I'll tell you the truth.
Wait, Daniel, is that true? Is that true? Please tell us, what are the statistics between women and cheating?
Yeah, the women, man, I got, this past weekend, I got 7 phone calls on Friday. 4 were for women cheating. 1 was for a guy cheating. and then the other one's like I think a missing person and a background check. But the rest of them for women cheating, the
You
husbands
are
and the boyfriends are
kidding me.
I can't believe
Women are
that.
very much more cautious. They cover their steps. Guys are dopey.
Are they?
They don't pay attention. They forget what they're doing. Yeah.
Who's it harder to find, a woman cheater or a man cheater?
The woman cheater's harder to find, but once you catch them, they usually do it on a routine basis, so it's easier to catch them once you catch them. But they're hard to figure out. The guys, don't mess it up. Go, hey, honey, I went out, had a one-night stand. I'm sorry, but I still love you. I'll still pay for the bills. I'll still provide for the kids. The women will turn around and they'll actually be in love with that person they're having the affair with.
Really?
No. So they have a regular relationship on the side rather than just.
It's more for women. It's more emotional. And for men, and
Physical.
I'm sure the guys that will agree with me. Sometimes as guys, it's just about getting our fix and we're good to go. I hate to say it like that.
Really? I was reading what you wrote, red flags that he is cheating. And I said, you know what? These are really red flags. Why didn't I catch any of these? I should have.
Well, sometimes you don't.
What was wrong with me?
You don't want to believe it's happened. In your mind, you don't think my husband with blonde hair, blue eyes, makes all his money, has family of 5, would ever cheat on me, but they will.
You know what, though? I have to bring up one of the things you wrote, because I remember thinking in my head, why is the seat in a different position? And one of your red flags was a passenger seat moved to a different position. I swear to you, I thought that. And then I was like, I must be crazy. The seats move, big deal.
There's something to
Yeah,
it.
the seats move, but you know what? Sometimes they don't move that close up to the windshield, or sometimes they don't move that back far from the windshield. But yes, I mean that's just a tell time.
Wait a minute.
Big tail, if it's all the way back.
Right, then you know.
Well, no, it's not because they're having sex in the car, but maybe because the person is smaller or bigger than his actual wife or girlfriend. So they got to
Right, so the seat.
in the car.
Right, so the seat is not in your position. Because why would somebody be sitting in the passenger seat other than myself or my kids?
And I will tell you this. I used to have a fiance myself, and she'd get in the car once in a while. How come the seats didn't move back? And I go, well, because I had to put some equipment in the car. Oh, really? Who's been sitting here? And women know how their seat is set.
My girlfriend knows everything.
Does she? Would your girlfriend know?
She knows every single thing. The seat moves, the smell in the car. She analyzes and looks at everything. She should be an investigator. She's going to end up working for Dan.
Don't put a smoker in your car either. Don't put a smoker in your car either. That's person.
She can know.
Wait, but Daniel, finish your craziest case. I want to hear the crazy case.
That's the craziest case. Yeah,
Adrian likes things that have a lot of sex involved, so.
Well, this one, I caught the woman taking her child to see this other man. Okay, so I got it on videotape. The court orders them to stay in the same household until the divorce is over. I told my client, I said, do me a favor, put a tape recorder in your car. I mean, not in your car, but in your pocket. Just keep it with you just in case. Because she sounds a little crazy. She's challenging you. Now, as you caught her, now she doesn't, she doesn't want to, now that you beat her at her own game, she's a little upset. And lo and behold, one night while they were cooking dinner, she was cooking dinner for herself. He's sitting on the couch watching TV. She slices her wrist and says, she called the police and said, my husband tried to kill me.
Really?
And thank goodness he had recorded everything she had just said. And lo and behold, he didn't go to jail. They took her out of the house, sent her to the hospital, but he didn't get arrested.
Though,
wow.
as a lawyer, yeah, in real life, I'm a lawyer.
About it in front and being cased.
Yeah. But, there are cases like that. There are people.
Yeah, there are cases like that. But she was crazy. She cut herself and tried to say, my husband cut me, he tried to kill me. And luckily, that tape recorder saved him. Because if he wouldn't have had that in his pocket, he would have gone to jail for aggravated assault.
Wow.
Wow. That is a crazy story.
That is.
So what's one of the hardest cases you've had to break?
One of the hardest cases?
Yeah. What are some of the most difficult ones where it was just you knew it was happening, but you couldn't get it?
I ended up catching this guy. It took me about a year. This is actually a TV case that we did a long time ago. But the hardest thing is people want to see everything in motion. So the hardest thing was with this guy that would go to spend a night at this woman's house, and we just could catch his car there, but we could never catch him. leaving the house. And we had to get it on TV. And finally, it took us a while. It took us about a year to solve the case, but when it went down, the woman confronted her husband, and the husband said, I'm not your husband. And sadly to say, after it aired, the children saw it. And they had to ask the dad, well, why did you deny Mom on TV?
Have you ever had a circumstance where when you confront the person with the spouse that it's turned into a dangerous sort of circumstance where they go so ballistic that it's dangerous?
Well, on television, we haven't had anything like that happen because they're on TV, so they do something stupid. They don't know who they are. Privately, I've had, evidence tells everything. If you get evidence from somebody, factual evidence from somebody, I had a guy one time tell his living, it was his wife, and said, you know what, you're going to take me to court, I'm taking you down, you picked a fight with the wrong person, blah, 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 blah. The attorney calls, they contact the attorney, says, look, I understand that you and your wife are getting divorced, I understand you're upset with my client, but we're going to subpoena your girlfriend to court, too, at the same time. 24 hours later, he goes down to the attorney's office, works out a deal, and everybody's happy.
Wow.
So that's why sometimes I tell clients, you got to get factual evidence. If you've been married, you got children together with somebody, you need to get factual evidence because no divorce is going to end up easy.
That is true.
Wow.
We all know that. Adrian knows that, I think, and I know that.
I know. Well, no fault states, though. I mean, it's tough. That's a tough one. But
you're right.
Right?
State, right. You know what? There's nothing like
We're now a no-fault state also, New York. We weren't, but now we are. Yeah. But for me, I would just like it for my own self. Nothing to do with the actual divorce, but I would want to know if somebody was cheating on me. Yeah. I want to know, and I want to know with who, because I definitely want to make sure it's not somebody that I have a relationship with. Because I bet you see sometimes where it's a friend, and you really think it's a friend of yours, and they're having a to-do going on with your boyfriend or husband or whatever. Do you see that?
Mm-hmm. Right. Well, a lot of times it's not what they think initially, but sometimes you got to be honest with your significant other. I'm spending time with a friend of mine. Just tell them the truth. And if you want to go check it out and hire a private detective, it'll prove everything that you're suspecting is not happening. You got to let people know that if you're going to be out with a girl, or if you're going to be out with a guy, you got to let them know. Be honest with them.
Right.
Because if you feel insecure about something, you go check it out. Then all your suspicions may be false, and what they're doing is telling you the truth.
Right. So when it comes to, what are usually the things they say? I know he's cheating because of, I know she's cheating because of, it's just like credit card bills or,
Adrian, you're breaking up on our end, so you have to find a spot in that room in Las Vegas that we can hear you without breaking up.
Can you hear me now?
You're still breaking up a little bit. We were hearing you better, but you are breaking up. I don't know. Daniel, can you hear her?
I can hear you, but I can't hear her. She's breaking up.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, that's better. But you know what? We're going to go to break in about 20 seconds. So when we come back, I want you to ask that question again because that's a great question. And I want to go through it in our next segment. So we're on right now, 103.9. It's the Stephanie O Show. I'm here with Daniel Gomez, Benji Greenberg, Keith Hart, Adrian Schwartz, and just remember to get your tickets. Monday night is the Long Island Hospitality Bowl. Do not miss this event. I'm telling you, you will be stuffed, and you will be drunk, and you will have a blast, and just, you got to be there.
Westbury Toyota is continuing the Memorial Day celebration all week with special deals in their newly expanded dealership. Go to Westbury Toyota, the home of the $7,000 2014.5 Camry LE with backup camera. Drive away with one now and also check out deals on all other in-stock vehicles. Available now at the same low cost as the dealer. Call or visit Westbury Toyota for this Memorial week-long special celebration. Only $7,000 and that includes your taxes. That's only $7,000 with backup camera and your taxes included on the 2014.5 Camry LE. Call 877-403-9970 to reserve your 2014.5 Camry LE today. This offer is so good, I'm telling you twice. Call or stop in now for this unbelievable offer from Westbury Toyota. The new showroom is open and luxurious. Come by now and be the first ones to drive off in a 2014.5 Camry LE with backup camera for only $7,000, taxes included. Call 877-403-9970. Stop in and become part of the Westbury Toyota a family.
This is John Cahill. And I'm Peter Lawrence. We are certified financial planners and hosts of Wealth Management Solutions. Listen to us every Sunday at noon as we discuss the issues that all parents face as they prepare to send their children to college and fund their own retirement. That's every Sunday at noon beginning June 8th, right here on 103.9 LI News Radio.
Prescriptions can be filled anywhere. Bart's Pharmacy fills the script while you wait. Bart's is fast, reliable, and dependable. Bart's Pharmacy can even compound a prescription. A compounded prescription can only be filled at Bart's on Montauk Highway in East Moriches. Ask your doctor to call Bart's for all compounded prescriptions. Bart's Pharmacy is also located on Sunset Ave in West Hampton Beach and coming soon on Montauk Highway in East Quogue next to the East Quogue Pizza Deli. Bart's. Their name may be funny, but they take your satisfaction seriously.
Hi, this is financial advisor Tony Zambri, host of Financially Speaking, where I will be discussing matters regarding retirement and the preservation of your wealth. Join me every Saturday at 4:30 p.m. For an immediate appointment, call my office at 631-389-2327.
Live from the Sloman Studio at Long Island MacArthur Airport's Broadcast Center. Sloman's, the trusted provider of home security services. Call 1-800-ALARM-ME to find out how you can get the Sloman Shield for free. WRCN Riverhead,
Iceland,
Brookhaven,
Southampton.
This is 103.9 LI News Radio.
This is George Romano with a 103.9 LI News update. A Riverhead man was convicted of second-degree murder Friday for strangling a woman who was fighting back during a rape behind a bar. 23-year-old Guillermo Alvarado was found guilty of killing 29-year-old Miriam Johanna Garcia Mancilla after he followed her outside when she was asked to leave the Riverhead bar El Sabor Latino for being too drunk. Alvarado now faces 25 years to life at the sentencing in July. Governor Cuomo Saturday night secured the endorsement of the Liberal Working Families Party, however not without getting a lot of criticism from liberal Democrats. Cuomo won with 58.6%, while the challenger, a Fordham University law professor named Zephyr Teachout, received 41.3% of the vote. The 50th Ride to Montauk took place Saturday with a reduced number of bicyclists after organizers reached a deal with East Hampton Town, who recently wanted to put a stop to the annual event. Bicycle Shows U.S., the company that organizes the ride, had to limit themselves to 1,500 participants from about 2,700 that had signed up and canceled the short-circuit 30-mile ride from East Hampton to Montauk in order to keep town officials happy. In sports, the Yanks beat the Twins 3-1. However, Mark Teixeira not feeling 100% still, according to Coach Joe Girardi.
His wrist, I could just tell when he was swinging today he was sore. So give him a couple more days off and we'll see where we're at as we move forward here.
The Mets take it to extra innings again with the Phillies. This time they come away with a win 5-4. And the Spurs will take on the Heat in the NBA Finals again after finishing off the Thunder in OT on Saturday. Listen to Long Island's own Sean Hannity right here from 3 to 6 every weekday afternoon. I'm George Romano for 103.9 LI News Radio.
Here's the latest from ABC News. I'm Deirdre Bryant. A mother's message to her son, held by the Taliban for nearly 5 years.
I imagine you are more patient and compassionate than ever. You are free. Freedom is yours. I will see you soon, my beloved son. I love you both.
Janny Bergdahl from the family's hometown of Haley, Idaho. Bob Bergdahl says his son's reintegration is being carefully planned.
We haven't called him on the phone. Although you all know we have the capability to do that.
The 28-year-old is at a U.S. military hospital in Germany. His release in exchange for detainees at Guantanamo has sparked a major debate over negotiating with the Taliban.
His release did come at a very high price. 5 Taliban leaders, all of them battle-hardened commanders, are now free. The biggest name among them, a man by the name of Mullah Mohammad Fazl. He was the Taliban's former army chief. A U.S. Army report once declared him high risk, saying that if he was released, he would, quote, likely rejoin the Taliban. Another of the detainees, Abdul Haq Wasik, reportedly had direct access to Taliban leader Mullah Omar, even using his own home as a safe house for other militants.
ABC's Mohammed Leela in Pakistan. Former Pennsylvania Governor Ed Rendell says Lewis Katz, co-owner of the Philadelphia Inquirer, invited him on the flight that crashed in Massachusetts last night, killing Katz and 6 others. He says Katz tried to persuade him to attend an event at the home of historian Doris Kearns Goodwin. The Gulfstream jet slid off the runway as it was about to leave for New Jersey.
There was a fire and the aircraft was carrying, jet fuel on board, that burned, and that's what consumed a large part of the aircraft.
Luke Shada with the NTSB. Reports of at least 3 tornadoes spotted in central Iowa this afternoon. Another funnel cloud spotted near the airport in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Severe thunderstorm warnings firing up for the Central Plains into this evening. As of today, gay and lesbian couples can legally marry in Illinois. This is ABC News.
The hottest...
LI News Radio traffic.
Scanning Suffolk County roadways this Sunday afternoon with this report sponsored by the T.J. Martell Foundation. Still seeing brake lights on Nichols Road, southbound Oxhead Road into Nesconset Highway. Northbound side not too shabby at this point. We've got Sunken Meadow Parkway and Kings Park. Northbound bunching up into Pulaski Road. And then we'll scan over to Southampton, Sunrise Highway, westbound Hampton Road into David White's Lane. I am seeing delays there, but the LIE looks great at this point. Southern State Parkway moving along accident-free. I'm not even seeing any major delays at this juncture. Join the T.J. Martell Foundation in the fight against leukemia, cancer, and AIDS. Your support helps facilitate cutting-edge research that will lead to more effective treatments and save more lives. Visit tjmartell.org to learn more. I'm Brian Britton on 103.9 LI News Radio.
Best Pool Service has been servicing Long Island pool owners for almost 15 years. They are the right choice for all your pool and hot tub needs. Their licensed and insured staff is ready to handle all your backyard needs and make your swimming pool a vacation in your backyard. Visit their huge showroom at 543 Lake Avenue at St. James, right across from St. James Elementary. Come in for your free water analysis. They have the best prices on chemicals, toys, floats, spa supplies, and saunas. Stop by for your free water analysis now. Right now, buy 3, get 1 free liquid chlorine. Buy 3, get 1 free 40-pound salt. Spring special, buy 40 pounds of tablets and 10 pounds of granular shock and get a free 25 pounds of DE. Best Pool Service, 543 Lake Avenue in St. James. Call 631-686-6715. That's 631-686-6715. Or check out bestpoolservice.com. Best Pool Service, when only the best will do.
It's nice to know there are people who care more than you expect them to. People who are available to help, even when you don't think they will be. People like your local Health Mart pharmacist. Our pharmacists take the time to get to know you and your family. They know if you have a sick child who's been getting tummy aches, or an ailing grandparent whose arthritis has been getting worse. They'll have answers to your questions and offer helpful advice. They're the faces of community care. Because most Health Mart pharmacists don't just work in your community. They live there. They're your neighbors. And that spirit of caring for you and your health is alive and well every day in independently owned Health Mart pharmacies across the country. Health Mart, caring for you and about you. To find a Health Mart pharmacy nearest you, go to healthmart.com. That's healthmart.com.
Stephanie with the Stephanie O Show on 103.9 FM, LI News Radio, and we're back. What a show. We have Daniel Gomez, star of the show Cheaters, and he is an expert in infidelity. You would not believe the stories we've heard in the first part of this show. Also here with Benji Greenberg, the man behind 100 Voices, and Keith Hart, our local Long Island celebrity, who's amazing, puts on amazing events. In fact, we have an event Monday night here on Long Island. It's the Long Island Hospitality Ball. And I just want to tell you, you must come to this event. We have MTV's JG appearing. We have Raquel Castro of The Voice, David Castro, Wesley Walker, Sean Lindetta. And the DJs, we have Theo, we have Jason O'Heater. I mean, it's just the event of the century. Adrian, how come you're not at this event? I thought you were going to fly in.
Oh, my gosh, I'm up to my ears in events, luckily, and I'm not complaining, but I am sad I'm missing it.
Okay, because you're not allowed to miss all my events, and especially this one, because Keith's sitting right in front of me, and he wants you there.
That's right. It's the most fun you'll have with your clothes on. This is a great event. Not to me missed.
Hilarious. You guys, while we were on break, I was speaking with Daniel, and he's had some crazy things happen. And I said, what is the craziest thing you've gotten on video? And he was hired by a man to find if his wife was cheating. And Daniel, tell the story of what you got on video. It's too funny.
Well, I caught a woman performing oral sex in a law enforcement's car, a police car.
Really? With a police officer or someone else?
Yeah, usually you have a guy there in your studio, so it was kind kind of weird because I followed her to a park, and then next thing you know, her head began to move in north and south direction. I couldn't quite.
Maybe she was trying to tie his shoes or something.
I was going to say, how do you know what was going on?
Yeah, it was moving at a very fast pace. So I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. So that's crazy.
Don't you love that? That's the craziest story. He also pointed out, Daniel also pointed out a couple of really interesting things. And that is, I said, what is the percentage of men that leave their wives and husbands that leave husbands that leave their wives and wives that leave their husbands when they catch them cheating? And, Daniel, maybe you can explain that that's equal, but why?
Yeah, it all just depends. It all depends how big the lie is. If the lie is big, then either part, whether you're male or female, they tend to divorce it. But if it's something kind of small or kind of accidental, they'll go to counseling and try to work it out. Usually if it's something big.
How did you get involved with the show? How did that come to you?
I was doing private detective initially, and then I was contacted by the executive producer who asked me, Bobby Goldstein, who asked me, we're considering putting this TV show together. We need a detective to be our chief detective for the TV show that covers the investigation part. I said, sure, let's try it. It took a couple of years to get it on the air, and next thing you know, we're starting season 15 this year. So,
Season 15?
Oh, it's huge. Stephanie, you've been missing. This show's awesome. I've seen it.
Listen,
I'm not even a big TV watcher.
I am a fan now. Believe me, I watch the things on YouTube. I am a fan. I am totally a fan. And I heard you wrote a book.
Yes, I wrote a book. I wrote a book called Play to Win. It just kind of helps people, and I try to explain to them, define what you want in infidelity. If you think someone's cheating on me, everybody's definition is different. And they kind of teach you how to play the game. If you think someone's cheating, play the game. It's like playing poker. You play the game, and then you can win in the end. You may not have the best hand initially. If you play the game, put on your poker face, and play the game, you can win in the end if you play it right. Wow. That's the biggest problem I have with clients. I want to catch my husband. I had a client.
They just want to do them in, right? They don't want to play any game.
They don't want to play. They want to know. They want to know. Not how the other day. How long is it going to take Detective Gomez? How long is it going to take you to catch my husband cheating? I said, I don't know. I don't know what your husband's hormones are. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know what he's saying. I can't tell you that. They don't know. And one client, I gave her just a little piece of evidence. She came home that day, beat him up, and went to jail.
I love that story.
She called me when she got out of jail. She said, I'm sorry, it'll never happen again.
No, you know what? That might be something I would do. That's something I might do. A little bit of evidence goes a long way with me.
Yeah.
It's the truth. I'm being honest. I really am. I'm being honest.
You want to know part of the truth or the whole truth? It's up to you. You know what I mean? But you can't. You got to play the game a little bit.
Well, I got to tell you.
I want to know it all.
Yeah, I want to know it all, but just give me a piece and I'd start getting very pissed off. But, Keith brought up something very interesting during the break. He was talking about the age of email and text messages and how this comes into play in all of this.
Yeah, it's so easy to catch people just if you get their hard drive or your text messages.
Well,
just look at that. Facebook's a tremendous.
Marriages.
But everything done at night eventually comes to light. That's the saying. So, if you're going to cheat, you're going to get caught. And it's much easier just not to do that. And if you want to cheat, then maybe you should break up with the person and go and find somebody else. But, that's what I think we should do. Yeah.
This is a nice man. Yeah. This is a very respectful man.
No, I've learned both ways. I have cheated, and it's too much work to cheat because you're trying to make up lies, and you're worrying about this, and you're worrying about that, and then it's karma. If you cheat, then you're going to get cheated on. It's going to happen to you. So stay straight and narrow, and everything will be okay.
Yeah,
you say that. Daniel pointed that out too.
Right.
Didn't you? Daniel said that a lot of these people that cheat, they then find that they hire Daniel because their husband or wife are getting them back, and they can tell it is happening.
Right. Women have a sixth sense. Women know way before we do what's happening, and they start building a case. You know, and then they might even get back at them. You know, that's it. They know they're not being loved and they're not happy, so they might get back at him. It might just be a retribution to go sleep with his friend or something like that. I've seen all kinds of stuff like that. Yeah. So,
well, when you're dealing with all those women, he deals with a lot of women, so I'm sure he's seen and heard it all.
Right.
He has 600 models in his agency.
Right.
Oh, must be nice. But the other thing is, a lot of people don't want to be alone either. You know what I mean?
That's
so
part of it. So they stay no matter what.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Especially if there's kids involved, or it's been a long-time marriage. You know, they get older in life, they don't think they can find anybody else. And they go, well, I don't want to be alone. I'll put up with it or try to work it out.
Right.
But at what point, then, do they come to you? When do they get frustrated enough with the's lives and say, you know what, I need to find out if this is true or not true? Because I know a lot of people know, and they put up with it, and they turn their head.
When it's just gotten so sloppy, when they get so sloppy and they make it so obvious that they're doing something, so it's like, okay, I've got to do something.
Or embarrassing. And they're embarrassing to the person.
Right. I guess when it's that disrespectful.
Yeah, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we were actually talking because I do a lot of stories on cheating, obviously, because the tabloids, we love to cover celebrities cheating. And I have found, particularly, a perfect example is Demi Moore and Ashton Kutcher. You know, we worked really hard to get photos and all the terrible stuff because Ashton had been cheating on her. And so we parked ourselves in San Diego for 8 nights and did everything we possibly could. And we became party girls. No, it's true. And we became party girls and part of the scene down there to find video and pictures and any story that we could do to find that Ashton had cheated with this girl. And sure enough, we got a photo of him with her. We got photos at the party. We got the girls' stories about the entire thing. I mean, we got crazy stuff. And in the end, you know, we put it in the magazine. And the moment it was in the magazine, Demi up and divorced him. But here's the thing. We have a ton of proof, and I have other proof, that she knew all along he'd been cheating, and she also had cheated. But the moment she was embarrassed by it, the moment it was out and people saw it, it was too embarrassing. And she had to end it.
She had no other choice.
Right, because that must be horrible, especially when you're in the public. Yeah, but these are people that are in the public eye all the time.
Right.
You know,
And the publicists are probably planning the chess moves for him.
Right.
You can't stay with him if this is going on, because it doesn't make you look good for your career down the line.
That's true, too. You know, it's also a career breaker, a lot of these.
Right.
You know? Well, we're going to be going to break in about 15 seconds. And when we come back, I want everybody to stay together. But what I want to do is, I want to talk about the Kardashian wedding, Adrian, in our little Kardashian corner. So I hope, and you laugh, because I know you have all the inside scoop on the Kardashians. I'm looking at In Touch magazine, and I'm reading, humiliated. I want to know why. What's going on? We'll be back in a moment. It's Stephanie with the Stephanie O Show.
Hi, this is Dr. B, host of Lose Weight Now. Listen to me every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Allow me to show you the way to a healthier, happier, and thinner you. For information now, call me at 631-727-7200.
Mulch Madness this weekend only at Long Island Hardware while supplies last. 2 cubic foot bags of Scott's Naturescapes Advanced Color Enhanced Mulch in black, brown, or red, only $1.99 each. Scott's Naturescapes is color guaranteed for 1 year, and you can have it this weekend at an amazing price only at Long Island Hardware, 3606 Vets Highway, Bohemia, while supplies last.
$1.99 price after $1 mail-in rebate. Restrictions apply. See store for details.
Here's today's pet care tip from Total Pet Care of Holbrook, your one-stop shop for everything your pet needs. Springtime brings new bloom and green grass. If your lawn is being treated with chemicals as the warmer weather approaches, take extra caution with your pets. Upset stomach is the most common sign when ingestion of fertilizer or herbicide occurs. A visit to the vet may be in order if your pet accidentally ingests a large amount. Young, older, and ill pets are more susceptible as well. Ask your lawn treatment company how long your pet should stay off the lawn after an application. Also, obtain a list of product names being used and their EPA registration numbers to keep on hand in case of an incident. If you apply chemicals on your own, store and dilute them in areas where your pet does not have access. Keeping your pet happy, healthy, and active is always job one at Total Pet Care. Their highly trained and knowledgeable staff can answer any questions. Visit their clean, comfortable store today. 780 Broadway Avenue in Holbrook, just off Vets Highway. Call them 1-800-868-5738 or visit TotalPetCareNY.com.
Hi, I'm Mark Benowitz from Benson's Gun Shop. Listen to me, my mom, my dad, and my brother Dave talk about nothing but guns. That's right, every Wednesday night at 9 p.m., my entire family will be talking about guns for protection and for sport.
We're back. It's Stephanie with the Stephanie O Show, 103.9 LI News Radio. What a show. We have Daniel Gomez from Cheaters. We have Benji Greenberg, the man of 1,000 accents, and Keith Hart, our Long Island local celebrity who handles every model out there. And, of course, Adrienne Schwartz, the best co-host in the world. And I'm looking at her cover right now of In Touch magazine. And I know everybody wants to hear more from you, Daniel, but I want to hear about the Kardashians for a moment. Then we're going back to you.
Okay.
What's that?
Well, all right. So here's the deal. The Kardashians had the most wildly extravagant wedding, of course. So you surprised Kanye and Kim. Kimye, as they call them, the couple.
Kimye.
And, you know, everyone, they do. They call them Kimye. And basically, everyone flew into Paris, and they had a rehearsal dinner in Paris, and then flew them from Paris on a plane. I think it was a 737 plane. They chartered it and flew them to Florence, Italy. And then they had their wedding in Florence, Italy, and kept them in a hotel. Yep, in Florence, Italy. Put them all up in a hotel. Kim was at the Four Seasons. I think they were a couple of steps down, but even so, all the guests stayed in a...
I think I could handle that. I'll stay a couple of steps down. No problem.
I know. And then they flew them all back on the plane. But during the wedding, of course, during this weekend, it was total drama.
That's what I want to know about.
And you'll be able to see a lot of it in the magazine. But let me tell you, Rob, if you haven't seen Rob lately, and we've talked about Rob on the show.
I actually feel very bad for Rob. I do, because with all their money, they should be able to help him.
They can't. They keep trying. He just won't get the help. But he is probably 100 pounds overweight now. He's so huge. And, you know, the Kardashians are all about the way they look.
Right.
And he showed up at the wedding, and I guess he must have seen, it was trending in the news that he was so fat and that how bad he looked. Because he's been hiding out in his place. He has been hiding out in his condo.
Right.
And he, obviously eating and doing some other things, drugs and drinking. And no one's seen him. And so he showed up. And right when they were about to leave for Florence for the actual wedding itself, he just took off and left. Said, I'm not staying.
Yeah,
so he skipped out on his sister's wedding.
Do you know how
so that was the first trauma. And Chris was irate, screaming. And Kim was going, I can't believe it. I can't believe that he left. And so there was a big fight. This was all in Florence because they said, how could my brother do this? How could he? So that was one of the biggest things that they fought about in the beginning. And then you'll be able to get a little bit more in the magazine, but I will tell you one thing. Kim tore her Gucci white wedding gown.
Oh, my God.
I'm sorry, I didn't say Gucci. I got it wrong. Givenchy. Not Gucci. How much I care.
Gucci, Givenchy. They're all expensive, and they all start with G. That's all we know.
Yeah, exactly. And she tore it, and you could hear her screaming.
Really?
You could hear her screaming, I tore my dress. You know, the same old drama. But I have to say, and I love In Touch, and we got some really good behind the scenes, and everyone should definitely pick up the magazine.
Well, I love what you have even on the cover right now. I got to tell you, the magazine is excellent. I read this whole magazine cover to cover, which I normally don't do.
It's selling like crazy. It has been selling. We've got really good stuff in there.
It's not only the stuff, the pictures. The pictures are unbelievable. I don't know how you guys get these pictures because they're spectacular.
Yeah, it's pretty darn cool. I will say that for those of you who want to hear some pretty funny stuff, Page Six got What Happened Before the Wedding with Kanye, and it is hilarious. They hired they had a crane come in and make 30 marble statues, and 10 of them broke. they lifted the others up to the top and the heads fell off. I mean, they spent hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars. They had a bar set up, and Kanye decided 2 hours before the wedding that he didn't like the front of it, and took a saw to it and chopped it all up and then boarded wood on top of it right before his own wedding.
Oh, my.
And then called it art. So there was some pretty funny, crazy things that went on.
I'm amazed.
They had
the money.
They had a toilet, a golden toilet that was practically the centerpiece of the entire event. And then they had a marble table for all the family to sit, and they had people engrave all the names of the guests who had to sit instead of place seatings, and names were spelt incorrectly, and all the seating was messed up because people brought a guest and couldn't sit next to their guest because it was all engraved and nothing could be moved. I mean, you know, fun, hilarious, silly drama, and a lot of money spent. Oh, and apparently the entire sound system, Kanye didn't like it, which cost, I think, $40,000 to put in, and he tore it out right before 2 hours before the wedding, and used his iPhone.
Oh, my God. I would say,
yes.
What did this whole thing cost? Do you have any idea?
Oh, millions. I mean, this is, you know, this was his day. I mean, we have to say, Kim Kardashian is on her third marriage.
Right.
Her third marriage.
Right.
And, you know, normally people, by the time they get their third marriage, they're like, well, I don't know if I'll even wear white.
Right. They're
Not
getting
only
married
did she wear
like
white, but she changed 4 times.
Right, because you know what?
Different gowns.
You know what? You think of like Pamela Anderson, just like getting married on the beach, and that's that. The way she had, what was her
Take it
third or
simple.
fourth, right?
Yep. Kim gets more extravagant each year. Anyway, Kanye had the whole lighting system. He walked in and he said, we don't need this entire place lit up, and unplugged and destroyed half the lighting, because he said the only person that needs to be seen in this wedding is me, and kept the light on where he stood. I'm not kidding.
Oh,
you have to be patient.
Is that true?
You have to read In Touch.
Is that true?
Yes.
That just, that's like beyond. That really goes beyond.
I know. I just think people, I mean, it's such a good giggle. People should definitely, you can look online for the Page 6 article, but In Touch, you have to pick it up. We have some really crazy behind-the-scenes things that have happened.
So do you think he'll stay true to her, Daniel? You think he'll stay true, or will he cheat?
I think, honestly, you got to give a little too new right now, but I think eventually something's going to happen. Just like he moved on from the other girl he was dating and moved on to her, I think eventually something's going to happen. It'll make great news.
Right. So you don't think this is forever?
Too.
It's not
I
forever.
think they'll cheat. I don't think it's forever.
No.
Yeah.
We have a. You know what? We have a caller on who wants to talk to us. I don't know their name because they're not flashing it to me, but we're going to let them join us for the last 2 minutes of the show. Caller, mystery caller.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Who's on?
Jennifer, Keith Hart's girlfriend.
Oh, listen to this. Keith Hart's girlfriend is on. Hi, Jennifer. How are you?
Good. How are you?
So I see. You know, you have a good boyfriend. From what he's talking about here, he's against cheating. You're a lucky woman.
I know him.
She's an investigator. I can never cheat because she investigates everything.
I heard. You know what to look for.
It wouldn't happen.
Well, I don't think you have. I mean, my personal opinion, you don't have anything to worry about with this guy. What do you think, Daniel? You agree?
He sounds like a great guy. I mean, but I would say the word temptation has been defined in a dictionary. Hopefully it doesn't happen to him.
Right.
But should it happen, just be honest with her. Just kind of.
Oh, please. She's going to catch him. You're in big trouble with her.
That's for sure. Jennifer, what are you going to wear to the ball?
Ah.
A gown.
No, I'm sure you're gonna look spectacular. And while we're talking about the ball, let's just talk about it one more time, because so people know it's the Long Island Hospitality Ball. It is the place to go on Monday night. It's the place to go in Long Island. There is nothing better. We have JG from MTV, Rachel Castro of Jersey Girl, of The Voice, David Castro, Wesley Walker, Sean Lindetta. We have the Media Lounge run by Paul Prince and myself.
And let's not forget all the food and the drinks. I mean, there's 70 or 80 restaurants donating food for this event, and there's like 70 different suppliers, so you can drink the greatest wines, some great martinis and drinks, entertainment, all is donated for free.
And Jennifer's
So,
going to stop by the media lounge in her gown.
That's right. She'll be
So
there.
everybody can see what gown she is wearing.
That's right. And all the proceeds go to the American Cancer Society. So it
Most
should be a great
important.
night. Yeah. Mhm.
Most important.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Isn't that awesome?
Last year we raised $385,000. We're trying to exceed that this year. So
Isn't that amazing?
everybody come.
All right. Well, it's the end of the show, although I'd like to keep going. Thank you, Daniel Gomez. We appreciate it. Benji Greenberg, Keith Hart, Jennifer, thank you for calling in. We're going to all come and visit you. And until next week, it's Stephanie with the Stephanie O Show. Stay tuned. Stay on for Chris Hahn and his show.